Hi and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this show, and welcome to Thfc Till I Die, your home of Tottenham past, present, and an exciting future under Ange Postecoglou. And yes, he is back. The Godfather, the Governor, the man in charge. He is back with us, and am I glad to have you back. There's only so many shows, Philip, I can do on my own, and waffle on my own. I need my right-hand man, my assistant manager with me. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. Glad to be back. Was away there for a few days retracing the Irish involvement in World War One and the battlefield in the Somme. Very interesting, very somber. I've seen more graveyards this week than I think I've in the rest of my life. But yeah, great trip, brilliant trip, I have to say.
Yeah. I do it like that, Philip. It just I couldn't see me. I don't mean to.
That's all right.
We will change this around, and once Philip gets his background, we're going to look pucker next season. Philip, a lot's happened in the world of football while you were away. I saw your video today, by the way. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, some of that stuff was jaw dropping. Yeah. Absolutely jaw dropping. But you were telling me the leader of the group was actually a Spurs fan. And it
yeah, I'll tell you how I knew he was from Carrick-on-Shannon, but I introduced myself at the airport, and on the first day we went for lunch together. His name is Roland McGreevy. He's a journalist with the Irish Times.
Yeah,
and so we started talking about football. I was saying, I wonder we'll get to see the Real Madrid City game or the Arsenal Bayern Munich game. And he says, Arsenal. I says, you're not a Spurs fan, are you? Yeah, so are you. That's how we get together. So we're from the same county, we support the same team, we hit it off, and I ended up actually doing a lot of photography for him on the trip, taking videos for him so they can use them for future promotions. But
I would love David Attenborough to voice over two Spurs fans meeting each other. I mean, that would honestly be funny.
Because we were two of us then started bitching about the Leitrim GA team who got hammered the day before, you know. So
we beat New York, by the way, so we're safely through. So we're happy. Yeah, you know, Big Sam's coming back to Mayo this year, Philip. It is coming back to Mayo.
It's about time.
Yeah. Now a lot's happened, Philip. It started last Sunday with sad that Joe Kinnear sadly passed away. We did a video of a pre-record on it, Philip, with your thoughts as well. Just very quickly, with he was manager of Newcastle as well. So do you think there was something done before the game tomorrow?
I would hope so, yeah. I mean, I think it's an ideal opportunity. The team that he played for and the team that he managed to come together and do something nice for Joe. Yeah, I think so. I'd be very disappointed if they don't.
Yeah. It's very sad, though. And started, Philip, funny enough, in the town I was brought up in, St Albans. He started at St Albans City.
Yeah.
And a great player, won many medals with Spurs. So very successful player as well in his time. The laws changed for offside for next season. Sanity has now taken over VAR, or whoever runs VAR.
Well, let's hope Sanity takes over when they actually have it in place, that they don't still keep making these ridiculous decisions, or they'll be harder to talk their way out of it once the 3D version is in.
Yeah,
it'll be absolutely. It should be foolproof, but then again.
But it isn't coming in, Philip, until after the first autumn international, so it won't be in start for the Premier League season.
Why they should have it in from the first game of the season?
I ranted about that yesterday. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Maybe they can't get the use of it. Maybe it's the contract doesn't start on a certain day, or maybe they can't afford to pay for it. I don't know.
Big up to Ian Ness. Philip is saying, hang on, let me bring him. G'day, Dermo and Philip. G'day, Ian. Hope you're doing well. And any other news came in? Ange, his press conference, very interesting. I think it was after the Forest game, where he was asked about the finances of the club. And his remark, Philip, was more or less, I'm not a bank manager. Do you know, we're not.
Yeah, well, he's right. He's right.
Yeah.
His game is to get the team successful on the pitch, let the finances down to the guys in the boardroom, let them look after that. He was dead right.
Yeah. Now, there was another story that broke during the week. Well, not broke, but I found, and I talked about it yesterday, Philip, and I thought I'd go over it again quickly while you're back. See, do you agree with it? Because there is 13 players, Philip, that need to be gone in the summer for me. Now, that's the 13 there. Would you agree with all of them leaving the club?
Yeah. I would. I'm sorry to see Troy Parrott on that list, but I don't think he's got a future at Tottenham. Not with the likes of Jamie Donnelly and them coming up, would be ahead of the pecking order of them. So, yeah, Tanguy Ndombele, I think we've offered him to Galatasaray for $5 million. I don't think they're going to pay it. So, I don't know what we're going to do with him. I really don't.
Yeah.
Well, Roden, I'm delighted to see him having a good season at Leeds. Really am. Tanganga has probably found his level at Millwall. And Jed Spence, I think his attitude issues are never going to allow him to be a success at Tottenham. So it's best to move him up as well, which is a pity.
Yeah, it is. But there's one player missing on that list. Do you know who that player is, Philip?
Brian Hill.
No, Brian Hill's there.
Oh, hang on. Pierre Højbjerg.
Now, Dave mentioned it last week, and it got me thinking. Keep or sell. Do you think Ange can convince? Now, there is a video coming out tonight for your members on the press conference. I've taken some bits off that press conference, so there will be a video later coming out for you guys tonight. But would you keep or sell him, Philip? I keep him because he changed the game for me when he came on against First, him and Bentancur.
Well, you know something? I think we were crying out. I only did the first half of that game with you from Belgium, but I think we were both crying out for change at half. But I kept saying to you in the first half, things will change in the second half, and we'll win the game. And that's why we won it, because he took off Bissouma and Sarr, who were absolutely useless. They couldn't stop anything. And they brought on Bentancur and Højbjerg, who shored things up, gave us protection in the midfield, and within 5 minutes or 10 minutes that half, we had the game won. Yeah. So, from that point of view alone, I would keep him, but I don't know will he stay, because he wants regular first-team football, and that's something that Ange is going to find hard to give to him, given the depth of strength we have in midfield. But I'm beginning to think, yes, we should keep him.
Do you know, with the European with the Champions League expanding next season, Philip, and 4 different competitions, you could say to him, right, you're guaranteed to start every cup game. You're guaranteed to start certain Champions League games, but you might be even guaranteed to start certain Premier League games. Is there enough to keep him there? Do you think to keep him that he's happy to stay at Tottenham?
Yeah, that's a $1 million question, really. I mean, you'll probably find his agent will be pushing him to move, not for the good of his client's playing career, but for the good of his own bank balance.
Yeah,
that's what worries me. Players like that who are on the fringes, the agents will be pushing them. Go on, you'd be better off going fresh pastures, go somewhere new, And so I would say at the minute, it's 60-40 in favor of him leaving, but I would hope he stays.
I hope he stays too, Philip. I really do. Well, Philip, this is the Premier League review. We are going to go over the Premier League fixtures of match week 33. And, of course, the first match we're going to start off is the big one, I think, of the whole weekend, Philip. It really is the big one for me. Yeah. It's the 12:30 kickoff on TNT Sports, by the way, guys. But what you do, you turn your commentary down because they're crap, and you listen to me and Philip. We're being the best commentary on YouTube. We're like the Trevor Brooken and John Motson, or the Barry Davis and John Motson of YouTube. We'll let you decide who's who.
Or the Statler and Waldorf. You can work out who they are.
Yeah, or the other fella who did the 1966 World Cup, Philip. What's his name?
Kenneth Wolstenholme.
Yeah.
They think it's all over. It is now.
Yeah, that's what happened if Tottenham ever won the league. If Spurs ever won the league, and guarantee nuclear war would be declared the day before we could win the trophy.
It's happening in Germany this season. Bayer Leverkusen are 120 years old. They have never won the Bundesliga, and they're about to do it on Sunday if they beat Werder Bremen.
Are they a win away now, Philip?
No, they're at home.
No, are they a win away? One win away.
Oh yeah, what's the day? Yeah, they're winning Sunday. They have it.
Yeah.
They win on Sunday, that's it. And Harry Kane will not have a medal this season. And,
My heart breaks.
West Leverkusen playing against West Ham last night. And I'll tell you one thing, they're a very entertaining side to watch, and their press is unreal. They do not give up. They're like whippets running around your ankles the whole time. And although West Ham, in all fairness to them, kept them out for 82 minutes, but then get in the end. They couldn't sustain the pressure,
No. A bit like Jack Charlton in the 1980s, Philip. Put them under pressure.
Under pressure, yeah.
As I keep telling you.
No, go on.
I keep telling you, there is a modern version of Jack Charlton's tactics in football today. There is a way of making it, modernize it for today's game, Philip. I am telling you.
Well, yeah. Well, Leverkusen average pass length is about 5 yards.
Yeah.
They never ever play the long ball. I mean, I saw instances last night where the centre forward begging for a cross, and it was only when the substitute came on that they got a cross in and scored from it. But they play the short passing game all the time, but it's good. Yeah. It's very good. I'd say Xabi Alonso's done a fantastic job there.
He has. Ian saying, Philip, you guys are the only commentary worth listening to.
Now. Oh, thanks, Ian.
Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. You get the sensible, calm and Philip, and you get me delusional like a cat in a hot tin roof. But anyway, Philip, Newcastle against Spurs, it is the early kickoff. Look, let's talk about Newcastle first. Difficult season. I've really climbed down from last season where they finished in Champions League. They're not going to get there this season. Where do you think it's gone wrong for Newcastle? Because I feel FFP has put a stranglehold on what they could have done in the summer, Philip, and in January. And it's really hurt them, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, the owners came in, the Saudi owners came in, and every Newcastle fan probably thought, here we go. After 56 or whatever, how many years since they won a trophy. Here we go. Now, they had a great season last season. They finished the Champions League places. Personally, now I have a great admiration for Newcastle fans. Personally, tomorrow, I hope they go home at 2:30 crying their eyes out, because last season was one of the low points of my time supporting Spurs. Yeah. When we went up there and got hammered 6-1, we didn't even turn up till halftime. And even in the second half, we were hardly there at all. So we're going to owe them one tomorrow. They're the team under pressure tomorrow to deliver. We're the team going for Champions League. And I think what we did to Villa a few weeks ago, we can also do to Newcastle tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I think the morale in the club, they're probably disappointed, and Eddie Howe is clinging on to his job. I don't think he'll stay there.
No, I don't think he will.
And, okay, they've got a couple of dangerous players. Guimaraes is a good player, and Isaac is a good player. If we can keep them quiet, and that's why I would start Højbjerg tomorrow and Bentancur, I think we can get round the back of their defence, which is not good at all.
It isn't. And you look at last season, is it revenge or they're putting it revenge or repeat for last season? I mean, I watched that game again last night, Philip, the highlights of it, and we were woeful. Some of the goals we gave away in that game were absolutely criminal.
It was about 4-0 after 20 minutes, wasn't it?
It was. And
that's Hugo Lloris bottled out coming out for the second half.
No, that's what pisses me off about that. He was supposed to be our captain. Where was he?
Well, that's the day he effectively left Tottenham.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you look back at that game, Philip. Is there any lessons we can learn from that game last season that we can take into?
Absolutely. Go up there tomorrow and say, listen, see the fans that'll have to be up at the crack of dawn tomorrow morning to get up there. I mean, having a London club playing in Newcastle at 12:30 just shows you that couldn't give a shit about the fans.
No.
The TV company couldn't give a toss. So I want for those fans that go up there to sing their hearts out, right? Out-sing the Geordies, because that would give me great pleasure to see our fans out singing those guys, because they are loud. Put them in their place, 2 or 3-0 up at half-time. Let's see the Geordie fans going home in the second half. Cement 4th place, happy days. That's what I want to know.
It's all about putting pressure on Villa on Sunday, isn't it? That's what it's about.
Well, again, I've come to the stage now where I want Arsenal to win on Sunday, and I never thought I'd say that.
No, I don't want Arsenal to win on Sunday, Philip. I'm sorry, you're going to totally disagree on that.
I would rather Villa were kept below us. I don't think Arsenal are going to win the league anyway. But I think Villa, I don't want them going to Arsenal and pulling off a huge surprise, which will give them huge confidence for the rest of the season. Yeah. So from that point of view, I think I mean, I wanted Chelsea to win the other night when they were playing. That was the first. And now I'm going for Arsenal to win. Can you get me a doctor? I think I need one.
Yeah, I'm asking you, are you feeling all right? Are you sure you're feeling okay? Yeah. But look, it is a difficult place to go, St James's Park, Philip. You're right about the atmosphere, and it's not an easy place. So, what do you think Ange will be telling the players tonight in the team meeting? What do you think his biggest thing will be? Will it be ignore the crowd, ignore the noise, just keep it tight for the first 20 minutes and let's get at them? Or do you think he will have, or will it be more of a rousing sort of team meeting where he'll get them up and going?
I think he'd be looking for a performance like we had against Villa.
Yeah.
Like we went up to Villa and we were kind of worried about that one because, Villa were ahead of us in the league and whatever.
We were, yeah.
And we tore them apart. They barely had a kick. So, I mean, if they can do the same as that tomorrow, I mean, the guy's confidence is going to be up, after last week's second half against Forest. I know we weren't good in the first half. We were good for 15 minutes and we're terrible for the next half hour. But in the second half, we could have scored more than we did, So I think what they want is he want to keep it tight. Don't give away an early goal. Don't give the encouragement, because let's face it, we have been inclined to give away sloppy goals early.
Yeah, we have.
We have. As long as we can afford that.
Yeah. Right. So what's your score prediction then, Philip, for this one?
I'm going to go 2-0 to Spurs.
Do you know what? I went 4-1 in my match day prediction for Dave. I'm sticking to that. I'm going for 4-1.
We did them 3 or 4-0 on the Nuno, I remember.
Yeah, we did. We did, Philip. We've got Ian says, I think Newcastle the only club that has more injuries issues than us, which is very true.
True enough, yeah. But I mean, then again, look, only for our injury scenario during November and December, then we'd have 7 or 8 more points. We would actually be challenging for the title, only for that injury situation that we had in November.
Yeah. Do you feel, look, the game tomorrow is important, Philip, but there's a lot of redemptions. I don't think there's many players in that squad tomorrow, in that team tomorrow, that played there last season, is there? Sonny was.
Okay. We have a new goalkeeper. We've got. Did Porro play?
Porro did play. Yeah.
Udoji didn't play. Romero might have played. Van der Ven didn't. Harry Kane's gone. I don't know what the midfield was.
Højbjerg.
Right. Yeah. Okay, but listen, we have enough new faces in there not to be worried too much about last season, I think.
No, I think so. So I'm going for 4-1. Philip, you're going for 2-1. And of course, you can see the 2-0, and you are seeing the game live here on tomorrow at 12:15. Me and Philip will bring you the latest from St James's Park. Now, Philip, I don't know if we're doing around the grounds tomorrow. If not, these are the 3 o'clock games. We've got Brentford against Sheffield United. We've got Burnley against Brighton. Of course, on Premier Sports here in Ireland, we've got Manchester City versus Luton. I'm sure Philip will be delighted that's on our televisions. And you've got Nottingham Forest.
I won't be here tomorrow. I'm going away tomorrow afternoon. So.
Are you? See?
After the game, after the Spurs game.
See? You're like the Minister for Foreign Affairs. You're everywhere.
I'm only going up to Navan. I'm not going up anywhere. I'm only going up.
Well, see, you got to put the appearances round. As a minister, you got to put your face around these cocktail parties that you're going to.
Yeah, pure. But poor old Luton, imagine playing Spurs, Arsenal, and City in 3 games in a row.
I know. Now, Brentford, Sheffield,
every one of them nearly.
I know. Brentford, Sheffield United, Philip. We're going with that one. It should be an easy win for Brentford, but nothing surprises me in the Premier League.
The Bees versus the Blades. Sheffield United got a good result against Chelsea the other night. So, no, I think Brentford, but Ivan Toney might just have too much for Sheffield United.
Why do you think Sheffield United, Philip, have been so bad this season? Why do you think they've been the worst team in the Premier League history? Why do you think that? Because I didn't think they should be, but they have.
They haven't got the players, basically.
But they've got a Saudi owner. That's the laughable thing about it.
One of the Saudi owners, he'd be like a Saudi owner that would shop in Aldi rather than Tesco. You know where I'm coming from. He's a Saudi owner, but he's not one of the mega rich Saudi owners. And that's probably why they've been unable to strengthen the squad
Yeah.
The way, I mean, they've been docked 2 points next time they're back up anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, they fell even with what they have, they fell foul of financial fair play. So I don't think to call them the worst team in the Premiership. I don't know if their points total the worst ever. It can't be far from it. I think Derby had the worst total ever back in the day, but
they did.
But I think I mean, they'll fight their hearts out to the last breath. And let's face it, we're playing them on the last day, and that'll be the third season running the Spurs have been away to a team that got relegated.
Yeah, that's true.
We won the other two convincingly. So
yeah, Brentford, Philip. Another good season from Brentford. Brentford fans can't complain for how their team are playing, but is it important for Brentford now just to consolidate where they are in the league now and sort of just treat these last 6 or 7 games as a way of preparing for next season? And do you think Ivan Toney will be there next season?
I don't know if Ivan Toney. He probably won't, but it's going to take a big offer to get him out of the club. I just hope he's not taking bets on where he's going to go next. But anyway, yeah, I'd say he probably will be gone.
Yeah, that's it. Your mate's been at it again, Paul Merson, making ridiculous comments on YouTube. He made some ridiculous comment on Tottenham.
Well, what's he said?
The other day, I hate Tottenham or something along them lines. Do you know?
Well, that's hardly surprising, but
yeah,
treat him with the contempt he deserves.
Yeah, he's a Chelsea fan as well, to be fair. I don't think he knows what he is. Yeah, he's a Chelsea fan. Yeah. But look, what's your score prediction for Brentford, Sheffield United, Philip?
I'm going to go 3-0 to Brentford.
I'll go for 2-0. Then we've got Burnley at home to Brighton. Philip, Burnley have been dreadful this season. Bottom of the league, or second bottom of the league for a reason. Brighton, hot and cold, the Evan Ferguson, all that sort of in the mix. Where are you with Brighton this season, Philip? Let's start on Brighton first. Look, for me, I saw Brighton play when I went to Tottenham this season. We played Brighton. I thought Brighton played very well. And a very good side to watch. Very easy on the eye to watch. But Evan Ferguson, for me, I think is starting to believe his own hype. So, firstly on Evan Ferguson, Philip, why do Irish players like Troy Parrott, like Ferguson, start to believe their own hype when the likes of Robbie Keane and other players like that have successful Premier League career? Do you know what I mean? What's wrong with this younger generation, the older generation?
I think we know Troy Parrott's problems earlier in his career. He hung around with the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
Who, apart from being the wrong crowd, were probably telling him how great he was and he was going to be this and he was going to be that and Harry Kane was going to make way for him and all this sort of stuff. And I think he believed the hype. And when you don't realize that you're the potential, which he hasn't really done. Okay, I know he's been unlucky with injuries, but he's had a lot of loan spells. He's never torn up the grass anywhere he's been, although he's doing well at Excelsior tennis. But I think what will happen to Troy Parrott, he'll be sold during the summer to either a lower Premiership team or one of the promoted teams, because that's, I think, is about his standard. I think that's maybe a good championship side, but I think it's unfortunate the way it's gone. But as I said, he comes back to Tottenham. He's way down the pecking order. Yeah. We've got Valise, we've got Jamie Donnelly, those type of guys. Even Iago Santiago under 21s would be ahead of him in my view. So he's going to come back to a 5th or 6th position as a striker, and I think that won't suit, and he'll be gone.
But you look at Evan Ferguson, you look at Brighton this season. What's disappointed you about Brighton more than impressed you?
It must be the most frustrating team to manage. Like they pick up these players from that nobody's ever heard of, and they turn them into absolute great little players, right?
Yeah.
And qualified for Europe last season, right? I think, and maybe that was probably one of the problems that they had. They're not used to coping with the Euro of midweek games so often, and that may have had a problem. But the Serbi every day sending out that team, he must know which team's going to turn up, and you never do. They'll probably turn up at Burnley tomorrow and wipe them off the pitch. But but then they'll play at home next week and get beat. You know, it's just the way they're not consistent. But I love some of the players they've got. I'll tell you, I wouldn't mind seeing some of them at Tottenham because I reckon Ange could do a real job on them.
Yeah.
Especially that Japanese winger that they have. He's very good.
Very good. Could Ange do a job with Ferguson, do you think?
No. And I wouldn't want him to. Dermot, as you know, I've never been a fan of Ferguson. I've never ever.
Why is that, Philip? Why is that?
I've seen him play. I saw him play against France.
Yeah.
For Ireland, right? And I mean, I could have done a better job than he did. Raphael Varane had him in his pocket. In fact, I think he had to turn him out of his short pocket at the end of the game. Ferguson never got a kick, and he looked to me as if he was actually frightened to be playing against such a good centre back. Yeah. You know, and okay, he'll score goals. He scored the odd good goal, and worth 100 million is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And he can't even get in the Brighton score starting 11 at the minute.
No. You know yourself, Philip, transfer market's gone deluded.
Oh, it's mad.
It's mental. Burnley. You got to look for me. Burnley, right? This season, I give them credit where credit's due. They've tried, but I think they should have changed how they played once they knew how they were. They couldn't do in the Championship, in the Premier League, because the Premier League's a different level. What's your thoughts been on Burnley this season, Philip? They are going to go down. I think it's more likely they will be relegated with Sheffield United. So what's your thoughts on Burnley this season with 7 games left? Do you think they got a chance to stay up, or do you think they're going down?
Not a hope. They're the yo-yo club of the Premiership. They go up and down like a yo-yo. I did think that what's his name, Vincent Kompany. They walked away. They did a great season last year in the Championship, and I thought that they would be, at least hold their own a bit. I expected them to be what Luton are like. I know Luton are struggling to get away, but fight. They've won games. They've been in games that they're no right to be until the very end. Our game won, and 2 of them. And I think Burnley's style of football. You're right. He should have adjusted it a little bit. You can't be gung-ho in the Premiership. You can get away with it in the Championship when you're playing teams like Huddersfield, but you won't get away with it playing against Manchester City or Spurs. And I think that that's where a bit of naivety set in. That being said, they'll probably go down and be straight back up again.
Yeah.
Because they've got decent players there, but they just weren't able to hack it this season.
Yeah, and they also get that parachute payment as well from going from the Premier League back down to the Championship anyway. So, look, what's your score prediction? Look, I'm going to go for a 3-1 win for Brighton tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm 2-0 to Brighton.
Yeah. Man City, Luton, Philip. Look, mismatch. Many people would say it's Man City's game to lose. Man City, you think they're going to win the title. The good result against Real Madrid on Wednesday night as well, so be happy about that, Philip. Little Luton struggling in the league. I can see an upset here. Don't ask me why, but I just think there will be an upset here. I just see Little Luton going up there and turning over the big boys. Like all them years ago, the game back in 83 or 84, or I can't remember. I think it was 85 or 86. I can't remember when it was exactly. But Luton needed to beat Man City at Main Road to stay up in the first division as it was back then. And at the end, you seen David Pleat running onto the pitch. Could Luton roll back the years, Philip, and do the same thing? And it sent Man City down that day, by the way. It got them relegated. So I know a lot's changed over the years. Right. But could Luton turn up at Main Road tomorrow with the Etihad and do a job?
I think the only chance Luton have for winning tomorrow is to reassemble the 85 team and get them to play. They are going to get mullered tomorrow. They are going to get slaughtered tomorrow, I'm afraid, Dermot, because Manchester City are just getting into 5th gear now. It's taking them a time. Yeah. They should have beaten Real Madrid the other night, really. They didn't, but they've got a draw. They'll go through in the next round. Now, the only thing that will be on Manchester City's mind tomorrow is the return leg against Real Madrid. And they may make a lot of changes. So that's about Luton's only hope. If they leave De Bruyne, Phil Foden, and maybe Haaland on the bench, then maybe they've got a chance, right? Yeah. But even that, if that game is not going City's way after 60 minutes, you know who's going to come off the bench: De Bruyne, Foden, and Haaland, and they'll do the job. So it would be the shock of the season if Luton won there tomorrow.
Yeah. Do you know, I was watching the Real Football podcast last night, right? And there was a little stat in there to come up. Do you know De Bruyne, right, for Man City? He's never won a Premier League Player of the Month award in all these years in the Premier League.
That's quite amazing because he's been the best player a lot of the time in that season, you know.
And I heard that stat last night. Isn't that an amazing stat? He's never won it.
Yeah.
In all the years he's been at the Premier League, he's never won it.
I find that quite,
you what?
I find that quite amazing that he's never won it.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
Look, everyone can read lyricals about Man City, Philip. Luton, I think they've been the surprise team for me in the Premier League this season. The way they've played, the way they've done, the way they've played in games. What's impressed you more about Luton? Is it their resilience? Is it their fighting spirit? Is it never give up? Or is it just because you go to Luton and it's like a throwback to the old times, isn't it? It's like a throwback to the bygone era of football.
Yeah. It is, yeah. I mean, I think I put it down a lot to Rob Edwards, the manager. I give a lot of credit to him. Like, he's pulled a lot of journeyman players, okay, together. Then let's face it, none of us have really heard of any of them. Well, maybe an occasional. Then he's brought in the likes of Ross Barkley, who almost made the England squad again. His performance has been that good. And he brought in Andros Townsend, our ex-player. And those two guys have galvanized that team. So, I mean, I think they put it down to team spirit, never let no respect for team above them. They've gone out there and given their all in every game they've played. I don't think, okay, I know they've got a couple of fairly heavy beatings, but they've never actually been humiliated yet.
No, they haven't.
They haven't, you know, and I think, I know I'm saying Man City are to win tomorrow, but I sincerely hope the Luton stay up because they deserve another season in the Premiership.
Yeah. Sheffield United have been humiliated a few times this season, Philip.
They have.
And technically, they're a more Premier League club than what Luton are.
Oh, they are. I mean, Sheffield United, again, a bit like Burnley, up and down.
Yeah.
Luton's journey from the first division to non-league football back up to the Premiership again is nothing short of remarkable.
It is. I mean, Sheffield United were part of the first Premier League teams in the first ever Premier League season.
That's right.
And Luton were playing, non-league back then. It's unreal. But look, Philip, it is on Premier Sports, guys, if you do live in Ireland or if you do have a Premier Sports subscription. Philip, where are you going with this?
4-0 to Forest. Or to City.
Do you know what? I hate saying it, and I hate agreeing with you on this because I do not like Man City. I have to agree with you. I'll have to go for a 3-0, but Luton will give a good account of themselves. I just want to welcome a few people into the chat, Philip. Big up to Carl Simpson. Says hello, gents. Everyone in the chat. We've got who else came in? Tequila came in. And Tequila says, it's a nasty place, Phil. I was born there. Trust me on this. I came out of the womb and I was like, nah, Lord, let me get back in.
Jesus, not that bad, is it?
Well, if he's talking about Luton, when I was a kid, there was a saying in St Albans about Luton. If Russians at the time, because this was the time of the Cold War, if Russia ever wanted to check a nuclear weapon on the UK, just send it to Luton.
Right.
I mean, that's how much everyone thought of Luton.
It would do £10 worth of damage.
It would probably do £5, but there you go. We've got Carl Simpson. The
Rottweilers go round in pairs.
They do, yeah. Carl Simpson says, Dermo has been listening to Mr. Shearer again. I sent Carl last night the link for the Real Football podcast. You should watch it, Philip. It's a very good podcast, actually. It's an extremely good podcast. It really is. It's very entertaining. Micah Richards, Alan Shearer, and Gary Lineker do it. Three of them really work well together. It's a bit like you, me, and Dave, really.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lesser version of it.
Yeah. An unholier version of it. And then we've got Tequila says Luton would be the place, Domo. Yeah, it would be. Forest Wolves. Nuno came back to the lane last week, and of course we beat Forest. Philip, Wolves, I think they've been the team of the season that have been quietly getting on with their job this season. Not great, not bad, but not great either. But Gary O'Neill has done a wonder job up there.
Wolves are a bit like Brighton. They're blow hot and cold, you know.
Yeah. Let's start in Forest, Philip. Right. Look, this is my problem with Forest and Nuno. Right. I feel Forest are not a great side for me. I really don't like watching Nottingham Forest play. They came into the Premier League, Philip, bought so many players. It's a team of... Chelsea are doing the Forest, if you know what I mean, with Forest first when they came in last season. Are you surprised to see Forest where they are, Philip?
Not really. No, not really. I think, the second season is always a difficult one when you've been promoted. They did very well to stay up last year. I think they've been found out a bit this season. I mean, some of their roughhouse tactics, which they've employed this season, haven't gone down well. Your man Yates, I don't know how he wasn't sent off last weekend, and then to have the cheek to go down and say James Maddison punched him. In fact, do you know something? By the rule of the law, do you know when he fell on the grass, sat down, and he went like that?
Yeah.
We should have sent him off for that.
Is that a law?
Apparently so. Apparently it's showing dissent. Now, I don't know if that's in the rule book, but I've heard it mentioned during the week that they should have been sent off. And plus, just when I'm on referee, who's gone off the tangent completely, it's a bit like the Arsenal player picking up the ball the other day, not getting a penalty given against
them. I was going to talk about that when we get to the Arsenal game, so remind me of that. Remind me of that. Because I want to know also, I don't think that should have been it wasn't a penalty, but we'll get on to that. But that's a very good point, Philip, actually. Well, very quickly on Wolves, Philip, Gary O'Neill, for me, manager of the season for me. For what he's done, going in. Not for you. Why not?
No, I'm Dermot, can you say, I know Gary O'Neill was a good ball, should never have got rid of him, that's for sure. Right. Right. He's gone into a established mid-table Premiership team, right? And what are they now? Still a mid-table team.
Yeah, but that's my point is, Philip, he went in the day before the season started.
Yeah.
He was given the job. He didn't know who the players were. They went into the first match not even knowing each other. And for that alone, and for the way he's got Wolves playing, and don't forget, they've beaten us twice this season, Philip. They've done the double over us.
Yeah, I still don't. Yeah, but they're still weird. How many points are we ahead of them in the league? Like, are you thinking that Gary O'Neill's done a better job at Wolves than Ange Postecoglou has done at Spurs? They're both similar. They both come into the club for the first time. I know, but Ange got a bit more time. He had a bit more time to prepare. But to say he's manager of the season ahead of Ange, I don't think it's fair. We all know who'll get manager of the season. It'll be Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, we all know that.
Or Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah. But we will, before the end of the season, Philip, we'll have that debate. But look, for me, I think the top three would be Ange, Gary O'Neill, and I don't know who your third would be. But I think Gary O'Neill should be in the conversation for even being in the top three, Philip.
But do you know who's going to be in the top three for what he's done at Villa is Dracula.
He's done a fantastic job, actually. Yeah.
So there's a few of them have done it, and there's been a few that have underperformed. That have underperformed. That's the likes of Eddie Howe tomorrow. He's probably the most underperforming manager there is. From what happened from last season, Eric Ten Hag.
Yes.
So I mean, you've got a top and the bottom of the manager of the season. It'd be actually more interesting to vote for who's the worst manager of the season.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. I want to say big up to DJ Samuel Philip, a member for 10 months, and he just puts cheers. Do you want to say anything to DJ? Thank you so much, by the way.
Yes, great. Thanks for staying in for so long and sticking with us. Hope you're enjoying what we're putting out, and thanks a million for being a member for so long. Really appreciate it.
And we are getting better, aren't we, Philip? There's lots of improvements coming on now. There's a lot more change.
There is, yeah. Absolutely.
You wait till next season. Philip will be sitting in the studio booted and suited. A bit like Des Lynam. He will become the Des Lynam of YouTube.
Oh, God.
Nothing wrong with that, Philip. Nothing wrong with being declared.
Right.
You could either be that or Gabe Byrne. You got a choice.
I'll be Des Lynam.
If anyone doesn't know, just look up Gabe Byrne on YouTube. He was a fixture. He was a fixture to our TV screens every Friday evening for years and years and years and years and years. And the big up, Ian says, Poch gets manager of the season for me for taking the Shavs back down when they belong.
Yeah.
Big up. God. So, Philip, what's your score for Forest Wolves tomorrow?
1 each.
I'm going for 2-0 Wolves. So, that's Saturday, Philip. Now we're going to Saturday evening, the biggest match of the day. Well, the second biggest match of the day. Bournemouth against Eric Ten Hag's Manchester United. Look, very quickly, Bournemouth. What's your impressions been of Bournemouth this season, Philip?
I think they've been. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here. I think they've underperformed, really. I'm just going to have a look at the league table there.
But their manager has got manager of the month for this month. The Bournemouth manager today. Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're 41 points. They're safe. They're safe, which was really a team like Bournemouth, who never ceased to amaze me how a Premiership team can survive in a ground that holds 10,000 people.
I know.
You know, they've done well. I mean, fair dues to them. They've done well. They've got a negative goal difference, but they're ahead of teams like Fulham, Palace, Everton, you know, who are long-time Premiership survivors, if you like. So, yeah, I mean, look at the table. They're only a point behind. It's Gary O'Neill, 2 teams, Wolves and Bournemouth. They're only a point apart.
Yeah.
In the league. So, yeah, they've done okay. They've done all right. Again, nothing spectacular, but survival is their ultimate goal, and they've done that. So that's a successful season for them.
Now, Man United, Philip, where do you start? Where do you start or where do you finish with Man United?
Where do you start? I mean, United got a draw against Liverpool there. And as gas, I was on a bus on Sunday and United fans sitting on one side of me and the Liverpool fans sitting in front of me. And I was keeping them up to date with the scores. I think they went into really a fight by the end of the match. You know, when Liverpool, especially when what do you call him? The goalie made them, or the Fernandez got that first goal. Yeah. You know and then somebody at the top of the bus must have heard the score wrong because they said Liverpool had won. You know, so I said nothing for 5 minutes. I let them stew. By the way, it was 2 each.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So I don't know what you're doing tomorrow. I hope Bournemouth win tomorrow because that puts United further back from us.
Yeah, but look, if you're a Man United fan, Philip, right, and you looked at this season and you look how you finished last season to this season, the obvious question is probably where did it go wrong? I don't think even Colin, who's a United fan, can even. We've asked him that question. Even he can't point to where it's gone. Why has it gone so wrong? Is it the players are not playing for the manager? Is it what we had under Mourinho and Conte when they were throwing managers under the bus? Why has a club like this have now gone back to where they were pre-Ferguson? In a way,
I think it's down to. I don't think Ten Hag is the manager for United. Plus, he's had problems with staff, with the players, like that Morgan Greenwood thing. You've got Rashford, Anthony Martial, Jason Sancho. Who else is Anthony? The guy Anthony scores his first goal. That's, you know, the players haven't performed for him. Whether that is, although some weeks when you see United, they look very good. Yeah. You know, and then the next game, you think, God, that's not the same team I saw last week. But I think the biggest problem is the inconsistency. Yeah. You know, they're not consistent enough. Teams can turn them over. The defense is poor. I mean, when you see them bringing on Johnny Evans as a substitute and then substituting him during the same game, what the hell's gone on there for a start? So I think what's going to disconcert a lot of United fans are the rumours coming out this season that Harry Potter is bound for them next season.
Yeah. You keep coming in and out, Philip, with your speaking. I can hear you, and then I can't hear you, and then I can hear you again.
No, no issues here. My internet's strong.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you're speaking, and then we can't hear you, and then we can hear you again.
Hold on a sec. I'll just do a check here.
Yeah. So, what's your score prediction for the Bournemouth United game, Philip?
I'm going to go for a shock here. Well, not a shock. I'm going to go for Bournemouth to win 2-1.
I'm going for 1-1. And it's probably my end. Nothing to do with you, Philip. It's probably my end. I've got new headphones that I've had for a couple of weeks. So I don't know.
My internet speed is pretty quick. So
yeah. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Fine. Maybe that's the problem. Yeah, maybe that is the problem. I've sorted out. So we've got Carl's going for 2-1 Bournemouth. We've got Tequila saying, Philip, United used to be the one man's vision. Now it's a bunch of headless chickens running around. Long may it continue. Sorry, Colin. It's true. And also, Tequila puts a very good point. Buying rubbish.
Yeah.
And Ian says, it's not you, Demo. I have noticed it a few times as well. All right. I don't know. Something we need to look into. StreamYard again. Now, Sunday the 14th, Philip. Both games, of course, on Sky Sports. We've got Liverpool Palace at 2, and then some team down the road that should be in South London are playing Aston Villa at 4:30. Liverpool got spanked last night at home to Atalanta. So I think their dream of going to Dublin is over. It's the club. It's the club era gonna fall flat instead of the way they want it to end, if you know what I mean.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm not writing Liverpool out of this because you remember the last time they were 3-0 down in a European game. I know the second leg was at home and they beat Barcelona 4-0. So, or maybe remember the score.
Was that the time they took that weird corner and Barcelona weren't ready for it and Barcelona complained? Was that the year we got to the Champions League final?
That was the night before the miracle of Ajax.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was it.
Tuesday night, we were Wednesday night. So, no, I think Liverpool tomorrow will be, I put it like this, that'll be the last result Palace would have wanted to see last night. Because they know Liverpool are going to be looking for revenge on Sunday. They're going to take it out on somebody. And I fear Palace are going to be the recipients. Like Liverpool, well, they were beaten 3-0 last night. They missed a hatful of chances. They really did. So, I mean, Atalanta took theirs. Liverpool didn't. As simple as that. So, I mean, bouncing back. Salah missed a couple of sitters.
He did. And
Nunez, as he normally does, missed a couple of sitters. Luis Diaz had a shot, hit the bar and the post.
Yeah.
Same shot at both. So, I think they are going to be out for revenge, and I'm going to go for a very convincing 3-0 win for Liverpool tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you. Palace, for me, are safe. And for me, I think Liverpool are going to absolutely demolish them tomorrow, Philip. Back in the old days, didn't Liverpool beat Palace 9-0 one year in the league? Under Kenny Dalglish, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, now we've got the game at 4:30, Philip. Them lot down the road against Villa. Look, I don't want Arsenal to win anything. I don't want Arsenal to win in Europe. I don't want Arsenal to win on Sunday. I just don't want Arsenal to win. I can't do it, Philip. I cannot say I'm going to support Arsenal in that game. It goes against everything I've been. If I did that, Mrs. Tron would lock me up in a cell somewhere and just leave me there for 6 months. And just feed me bread and water. I can't do it, Philip. I'm sorry.
Oh, I know. I'm looking for absolution after that. I'm gonna wash my mouth out when I finish with this, right? But my ambition for Tottenham, right, at the moment overrides my hatred for Arsenal, right?
Right.
And I have to say, for the first time probably in my life, I don't want Arsenal to. I want Arsenal not to lose this match. Okay, it mightn't go as far as I want them to win it. I do not want Villa. Like, if we lose tomorrow at Newcastle, right? Does any Spurs fan really want Villa to go and win at Arsenal? Think about it. It's a dilemma to be in. But do you know what I'm saying?
You have a way of making things so hard, Philip.
I know.
You really do.
It is. I've come to the conclusion that I know I'll be kicked out of the supporters club for this, but I have to say, for once in my life, I want Arsenal to win a match, and that's purely to keep Spurs where we are in the league, or 3 points ahead of Villa, whichever is the better one,
Yeah. I'm going for a draw, Philip. I cannot want Arsenal to win. I'm sorry. I know what you're getting at. I get what you're getting at. It makes a lot of sense what you're saying, but I just can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't. Look, 1-1 for me. We've got Carl saying, as long as you have your Philip, while you're away, the chat went a bit delusional.
That's new.
Well, we started talking about Rainbow very quickly.
Oh, jeez. Not the band now.
Huh?
Not the band, not the rock band Rainbow, no?
No.
Very good band.
Let's put it this way. Carl, Tequila, and Wayne. Just never go away again, Philip, and leave me in charge, because you've tended up to chaos. So I'm blaming Carl. We've got to be a draw. Carl says, trust the English clubs buggering up the coefficient. It means Villa won't get into the Champions League for 5th place as we're getting 4th. You can't support Arsenal ever, says Tequila.
I know. Come here, just going back to that point there about the coefficient, right? West Ham and Liverpool did us no favours last night.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. No, they didn't. ANS says Scum will win, but it's like ripping out a tooth with no drugs and be happy with that.
Yeah.
And Tequila says, I had nothing to do with it. Was totally innocent. Blame Carl and Wayne.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Believe that, Tequila. You believe anything. Now, Philip, on course on Monday. The date. Let's start with the date first, Philip. It is 25 years. Is it 25 years or 35 years? 35 years since that dreadful day at Hillsborough. Look, our thoughts and prayers go out to all the families of the 96 that perished that day, Philip. What's your memories of that day very quickly?
I was actually at a wedding. I was at a wedding that day. And as it happened, most of the people, the news started coming through at about 4 o'clock or 4:30, whatever time it happened, and everybody was crowded around a TV set watching it. I felt sorry for the bride and groom because it took away from their day. It was a shocking thing to happen. Purely down to the absolute inefficiency and lack of leadership from the Sheffield police force.
Yeah, for me, it was a shocking day. I remember being in a pub. It was my mum's birthday, my adopted mum's birthday, and we were in the local club, Irish club, celebrating the birthday. And I remember sitting watching this and just sitting in disbelief on what was happening, Philip. It really was. I mean, people go on about Heysel and how bad that was. I think what happened at Hillsborough was the final nail in what football used to be before it went all Caesar and all these different recommendations came in. It in one way, it was a horrible thing to happen, but in another way, do you think it saved football, British football as a whole, with the ways the stadiums are now and safety and the way fans are more properly looked after?
True. I don't think you can compare Heysel and Hillsborough because there was a lot of human intervention in Heysel. There was a lot of skullduggery going on there, with fans fighting and whatever. Whereas Hillsborough was a total. People were trapped; they couldn't get out.
Yeah. What I mean by that, Philip, was Heysel happened first, and nothing was done about it afterwards about fan safety or Nothing.
Well,
It was,
that's because it happened abroad. It happened in Brussels.
yeah, it was
And
just,
it was more a problem of fans fighting fans then. It
yeah,
wasn't really a stadium issue. But Hillsborough brought this. I mean, it got English clubs banned out of Europe for 5 or 6 years. Don't forget that.
yeah.
But thanks, Liverpool. But the what do you call it? The Hillsborough thing was purely a fault of overcrowding. Probably too many tickets sold for the game. You know, because you know when they were standing in the ground, you could fit an awful lot more in than you can when the seat only, and everybody's got a seat number. So I think there was a lot of fault. But the sad thing about that is it took over 30 years for the fans to get justice, and the people that were held responsible. It took it was 30 years before they were actually even prosecuted.
Yeah,
and I think wasn't the chief constable or something. He wasn't brought to book for it.
He was. But I just want to get this clear because somebody may say, or may try to unquote me or clip me what I was saying. Hillsborough happened in Europe. That should have been a warning about. I mean, that final should never have played. Yeah, Heysel should. That final should never have been played in that stadium in Heysel in the first place. Let's get that right.
True.
Let's get that right, Philip. What happened at Heysel was a tragedy, and there should have been a warning of the states of football stadiums back then that something else can happen. Hillsborough was all the fault of the Yorkshire police, of again stadia not being fit for purpose, Philip. Standing, caging fans in like caged animals. Fans would treat an animal better than you would treat a football fan back then.
Yeah. The thing about Heysel, when UEFA or FIFA, whoever it was, got together after Heysel and immediately banned English clubs, they thought, okay, we've now nipped that in the bud. There'll be no English clubs in Europe for the next few seasons. Happy days. Let's go back to having a round of golf.
Yeah.
Whereas they should have done something about the Heysel Stadium, which was not fit for purpose. It was an old stadium. It needed a lot of work done with it. The final should never have been played there, as you rightly say. But it took the actual loss of life at Hillsborough to really kickstart the safety campaign. It should have started in 85. It didn't. And that's because it didn't, 89 happened. If they'd done something after Heysel, there would have been no Hillsborough.
No. So it really is. It's amazing, isn't it? And you had Bradford then a few weeks before that, Philip.
The fire at Bradford. Well, again, that's something you probably couldn't legislate for. You know, that was an old wooden stand.
Again, Philip, an out-of-date stadium that was there from the 50s and 60s. That should never have been. That should never happen.
Well, what league were Bradford in then? Was it the second or third division?
The second division, I think.
Division, right? You know, the legislation wasn't there. Listen, health and safety hadn't even been heard of back in those days.
No, I know that.
Clubs couldn't afford to build new stands and kept going with the old ones they had. But it's things like that tragically brought on the change in the attitude of the authorities and made this place an awful lot safer since that.
Yeah.
Well, that's not much help to the people that died.
No, it isn't, Philip. And look, as you said, it took over 30 odd years for the Hillsborough 96 to get any justice whatsoever. Yeah. And I don't think people at Heysel have got any justice of what happened.
Well, I'll tell you what it is, Dermot. It's another case of, now this is not an anti-British slant. Don't get me wrong on this. It's another case of the justice system closing ranks to protect the guilty.
Yeah.
Right? It happened in Birmingham 6, the Guildford 4. Now, I'm not getting political on this. It's happened recently in the post office in England.
Yeah.
So now things are coming back to normal. The people are going to get compensated for what happened to them. And unfortunately, you cannot bring back human life. So the Hillsborough thing will always be a terrible tragedy. And
I agree with you, Philip. I totally agree with you. I'm not getting political. It's not an anti-British slant either for what I'm about to say. I agree with you. But at the time, Philip, you can point at blank a Conservative government closing ranks. It's protect the job for the boys. Protect them.
Yeah. Because you probably find the local MP was in the same Masonic lodge as the chief constable.
Yeah. And you look at then the Sun newspaper, how despicable the headlines they put out afterwards as well, by the way.
The Sun are still banned from Anfield.
Yeah, and too rightly so. And so
Absolutely.
right, absolutely.
It should be banned from everywhere, to be honest.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
But just very quickly, we forgot to mention, Philip, it was Tequila's birthday yesterday. Happy birthday for yesterday, Tequila.
I hope
birthday,
you had
man.
a good day.
Yeah. 21 again, I take it. Chelsea Everton, Philip. Chelsea Everton, are you hoping, because of the date and because of what it represents that date, are you hoping for Merseyside's looking at Everton thinking, come on, do us a favour here. Give us a bit of joy on this sad day.
Yeah, I'm hoping Everton win. Because I mean, I don't think I think Chelsea are literally, although they're not, Chelsea are still fighting for a conference place. You know, that'll be that's their main objective. Everton need to win this game. Having the 2-point deduction there at the weekend or during the week, they really, really do need to win this match. And if they don't win it, I think the relegation trapdoor is widening, and they're going to drop into it unless they can drop some scores, you know. But Chelsea, it's great. It must be great to be a Chelsea fan. They may not know what team's going to turn up, you know. And
we had that feeling once before, Philip, to be fair.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So what is your
what's your 2-1 to Everton? Might as well 2-1 to Everton.
Do you know what? You and me got a soft spot for Everton on this channel, to be fair, Philip. Yeah. We actually do. So I'm going for a 2-0 win for them as well. Look, that's the Premier League, Philip, over with. That is the Premier League fixtures for match week 33. The season's coming to an end very quickly, isn't it?
Yeah,
it really is. Now, this is the Premier League table, Philip, the top 6, the race for Champions League. Have you ever, in your time as a football fan, Philip, in all the years you've been following the great game, have you ever seen the league table as tight for Champions League or the Championship? I don't think I have in Premier League history. I think this is the tightest.
Well, it was very tight there a couple of seasons ago with Liverpool and Man City. You remember it was only done the last day. Yeah. But I think the fact race at the top and the bottom of the season, which is great. You know, we've got. I mean, look at Spurs on 60 points and the silly points we've dropped. Jesus, we could be right up there. You know,
11 points. Anyway, 11 points.
It's nothing really. Look, okay, we lost to Wolves twice against Wolves. That's 6 points. We dropped 2 against West Ham. That's 8. And who else did we lose to? Who else did we lose to? Chelsea. That's 11. And we lost to who else beat us? Jeez, I can't remember now. Anyway, one more win. If we drop 14 points, look where that puts us. 3 points ahead of Arsenal at the top. Yippee! Next season.
Yeah. Ian says we're going to have a huge say in where the tight guys we are.
Yeah,
we really are. And DJ says the mic keeps cutting out. So we're going to have to stop your mic. Could you cut it out just then?
Yeah, I never touched anything.
No, I don't know. It's something we look at.
Yeah, I never touched a thing.
No, touch a thing. These are the running, Philip, very quickly. The home games and away games. How many points do you think Spurs will get, Philip, from the last 7 games? What are you hoping for?
Boys. Oh, God. Tough. Okay, we get 3 tomorrow. No game the following week. 721 points. I'm going to be a bit conservative here and say we're going to get 3 wins, 2 draws, and 2 defeats. What's that? 11 points. I can't see us beating Manchester City. That's my only worry there. And Liverpool away worries me as well. But the rest of them, I think we might. Came down to our place 2 years ago, thinking they had 4th, and look what happened. So we can do the same again to them. Yeah. So I say 11 points, which should bring us up to 71 points.
Yeah. For me, Philip, I want to be delusional. I want to be out there, but I can't. I have to agree with you. I think it will be. Look, I'm going for one. I actually am going to disagree with you. I'm going for 4 wins, 2 draws, and 1 defeat.
So that'll leave us with 74 points.
Yeah.
I'm actually mad here. I thought I was going over to the last home game of the season.
I know you are.
Players going around the pitch afterwards, and now they're going to plank the Man City game after us. Anyway.
Yeah, and also the Chelsea game. Philip, of course, on Monday we're going to talk about the run-in and what the remaining fixtures and how they are. And like for you coming over and fans as well, I don't know. It's going to be a weird one. This is the bottom, Philip. The race for the drop. Of course, there is hashtags against Everton and Forest. Everton were deducted 6 points and then 2 points, and then not Forest. Do you know what's going to happen with Everton very quickly, Philip? I don't know if you agree with me. I think they're going to deduct them another couple of points to make it up to the 10 points that they originally deducted. Do you know? I can see that coming. By the way, I can see that coming for Everton.
If I was an Everton fan, there would be 2 words coming out of my mouth: Manchester City. Manchester City.
Yeah.
How the hell are Everton and Forest getting punished, and Manchester City, and to a lesser extent Chelsea, getting away with it? That is criminal.
Do you know what, Philip? There's an end of season podcast right there about the Man City thing. We all know about it, but look, that is for another day. Philip, it's tight down the bottom as well. Look, I think Sheffield United are gone. Personally, I think they're relegated. They're back in the Championship. Burnley probably with them. Then you got Luton 25, Forest 25, Everton 27, but with a game in hand. Where's your head telling you, Philip? I think Everton are going to go down, but maybe I could be wrong. But that's my opinion. Where's your head going?
If they get beaten by Chelsea, right? And let's say Nottingham Forest beat Wolves tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And Everton lose to Chelsea. That puts Forest above. I'm taking Luton are going to lose tomorrow, so we'll take it that Forest have 28 points, Everton will have 27. It's Sheffield United and Burnley, I think, are definitely gone. And it's any one of those 3. It really is any one of those 3.
It is.
And my money would be, if there's another points deduction, it's got to be on Everton. But I'm going to stick my neck out and say be Forest, and that will go down.
Do you think so? Oh, look, we're both agreeing.
That's really because the way they treated us last week.
Yeah. And we're both agreeing Luton will stay up.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Ian's gone for 8 to 11 points. We've got Tequila going to be Forest going down. He's agreeing with you, Philip. Chris is saying Burnley and Sheffield United are gone. They are. Tequila's also saying Everton got Daichi. He won't let them go down. Well, I don't think that means nothing.
Well, I don't know. He kept Burnley up often enough. So, you never know.
Yeah. And Chris has thrown an absolute grenade into our conversation, Philip. And absolutely blown it to pieces. Crystal Palace, and we seem to be thinking they're 16, but Palace is not out of it, lads. They've got a tough run-in.
Let me see.
I'll tell you one thing. I seem to forget about Palace, actually.
Palace have got 30 points. Brentford, you could say Brentford are still in it too, because Brentford have got 32 points. Sorry, they've played 32 matches and got 29 points. So, technically, anybody from Palace in 14th position down to 20th could go down. Fulham are 39 points. They're well ahead. So technically anybody in the bottom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, any of the bottom 7 could as you said, Palace have a tough run in. They could be in trouble.
Yeah. Where's your safety point for people this season, Philip? Is it 40 points?
Safety point wise, I think is probably about 38 points.
38 points.
38
there
points,
you go. And Ian is asking, any of those mentioned playing each other before the end of the season? I'll tell you what I'll do is, Ian. Me and Philip are doing a podcast on Sunday.
I'll tell you now. Actually,
if you can. Yeah, if Ian wants to know, if you can. Big up, Ian. I didn't realise you remember him, but big up.
Fixtures. Here we go.
Membership.
Okay. Sheffield United have to play Brentford.
Yeah.
Sheffield United have to play Burnley. And Sheffield United have to play Nottingham Forest and Everton. So they nearly got to play them all. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's Sheffield United. Burnley have to play Sheffield United, and they have to play Nottingham Forest. That's 2 of them. Let me see. Next one up is Luton. Luton have to play Brentford, Everton. Brentford and Everton. Luton have to play. And then Nottingham Forest have Everton, Sheffield United, and Burnley. Everton have Nottingham Forest, Luton, Sheffield United. So there's quite a few games between them. I'll just do Brentford. Brentford have Sheffield United, Luton, Everton, and Brentford. Brentford are playing Sheffield United, Luton, Everton. Yeah, those three. And the last one is Crystal Palace.
I think they've got
Palace.
Luton.
But I'll read Palace's teams out. They're away to Liverpool, home to Palace, home to Newcastle, away to Fulham, home to Manchester United, away to Wolves, and home to Villa. So they're playing none of the rest of the teams.
Oh God, they've got one hell of a run. Oh Jesus!
But all those other matches, Dermot, like the Fulham, the Burnley versus Sheffield United, they're 6-pointers. They're literally 6-pointers.
Ian just said that there's a few 6-pointers in there, and then we've got Chris saying, "Watch teams that play each other draw against each other." Yeah. Oh, they will be.
And wait till you see too. You'll see Sky Sports will be picking Wolves versus Fulham, a totally meaningless mid-table game, and they won't show the proper one.
No, they won't. Philip, look, that is the end of our Premier League, a brand new show, the Premier League preview every Friday, guys, at 7:00. It's a new show we're going to bring in. We're cutting down on the shows a little bit, aren't we? We're condensing some shows, aren't we, Philip?
Yeah.
So that's the plan. So we're going to have. Yeah, exactly, Philip. But listen, thank you great to have you back, Mr. Brady. It's actually I've really enjoyed this tonight. It's flown by.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good.
Please, everyone, hit the like button. Please hit that subscription button. We're 6 away from 1,800, Philip.
Yeah, please hit the subscribe button. As we've been stuck there for too long. We need numbers. Numbers.
Yeah. And YouTube, if you are watching, sort out your bloody algorithm. I swear to God, their algorithm is broken, Philip. YouTube's algorithm. It's broken.
Yeah.
But get your goldfish, get your dog, get your pet rabbit, get your garden gnome to become a subscriber. It's free to hit the subscription button. Doesn't cost you a penny. But once you are subscribed, do pick up a membership for 99 cents onwards. And also, if you can, send in a super chat. Probably, I know times are hard out there, but look, hit the subscription. Let's get up to 2K. That is our aim. Ian is saying, see you at high noon, kind of. LOL, yeah. Can't wait, cause we are back on tomorrow, me and Mr. Brady. Philip, we're doing a few pre-records later, so there'll be something out for the members. But see you tomorrow, 12:15. Any lasting words from the Godfather?
Ange Postecoglou, if you're listening, send the boys to bed early now. Don't let them be going to the nightclub in Newcastle, and please come on with 3 points tomorrow.
I couldn't have said it better myself. See you tomorrow. Go on, you Spurs. In Ange, we trust. Hang on, let me press the one.